Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to do the mid-year book freakout tag. Alright y'all, so forget the background. I've moved like all the pillows and everything out of the way, honey. It just looked crazy. But your girl has got all the books, okay? We have got the answers ready. Before we get into the tag, I always love doing this every year to kind of see as a mid-year check-in of my reading and where I'm at with stuff, okay? Now, first let's talk about the goals that I have for the year. And I've got my reading journal here. And so far, out of the 24 in 2024 that Blake picked for me to read this year, if you've not seen that video or you're new to the channel, the hubs picked out 24 books for me to read this year, and it's a hilarious video. So I'll link it if you've not seen it. So I am halfway through the year, and I have got 12 left to read for the year. So I think that's pretty good. 2 I have DNF'd, so I've read 10. Fully. So that is pretty good for me, I think, considering where everything landed last year. I think I had like 6 or 7 left last year to read, so I think I'm tracking pretty good with that. We will go over the ones that remain at the end of the video because that's one of the questions, is the books you have for the rest of the year that's left. So that was one of my goals, is to try to get through those. I also have a goal to read 5 nonfiction books this year. Last year I had set a goal of 10, and this year I didn't want to put pressure on myself, so I just set a goal of 5, and I have met that 5. So yeah, glad that I was able to check that goal off, and I will continue to read more nonfiction this year, so that's great. I probably will hit 10 for the year at least, so maybe every year I need to set the goal of 10, but we aim low, and if we overachieve, that's great. Right, okay, so, not question. Oh my goodness. Another one of my goals is to read 5 of my Kindle only owned books. I've only read 2 of those this year. What? So, yeah. Christmas Baggage by Deborah Hathaway, and then Uncovering the Love of Jesus. So those are the only 2 I've read so far for that goal. The next goal is to read 5 classics. Now, the last time at the quarter year check-in, I didn't have anything on the page. Now I can at least say Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery has been added. So that's great. We've only got 4 more. Can we do it? So we'll see. Next is to read 5 Audible only owned, and out of this I've read 3, so that's good. Glad to get those checked off as well. So I only need a couple more for that, and I've got plenty in my Audible library to choose from. All right, now the reading challenges. Where am I? For Oceana's Christian Romance Reading Challenge, we have got only 4 spots left. So I've got, actually 3. I just haven't printed off the cover, my bad. Rainbow cover, fall season, and Christmas. So that's all I've got left for that. I've got that printed off in here. This was a Julie Klassen that I need to just print out the cover and paste in here. For Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, we've got every month filled up except in June was to read a sci-fi or fantasy, and I don't know that I'm going to get there. So June may not happen, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so that's what I've got here, and I have to print out some more of the covers as well. I just haven't done that. For Katie's Reading Around the World Challenge, I have gotten the first 5 months, and I just need to find one that I've read that's been translated to a language you would like to learn, and I think I've done that. I think the Inheritance Games was translated into something, so I'll check that. But then for Jeanette over at Jane Reads, her Christian Fiction Reading Challenge, I have met each month. So far for that, only in May did I have to switch out a bonus prompt. I still haven't printed out the covers for some of these as well, so that's kind of where I'm at with stuff. But yeah, finish that up. June was your second most read genre. Check that off. So that's where I'm at with my reading challenges and the reading goals itself. So far for the year, I want to read 100 books, and I've read, as of the filming of this video, 92. So that's good. A lot of those are going to be, like, don't take the number into consideration, honestly, because a lot of those are novellas, or I had some manga and graphic novels. I also had a lot of short stories. So as far as, like, full-length novels, I don't know. It's definitely not 92, but technically Goodreads says 92 of the reading challenge, so we're going to go with it. But yeah, 50 books from my shelves. I've not actually went through the list to see how many. I think it's already over 50. I don't know. We'll see. I was writing it down. It actually may not, because actually I made the rule that I wanted it to be the ones that I owned before 2024. There you go. So we'll wait and see about that. And then ARCs for must reads only. Now, I've done pretty good the first quarter. This second quarter, I think I overcommitted a little bit, so need to be a little more mindful of that going into the third quarter of the year. So other than that, I think that's it as far as my personal goals with reading. and whatnot. I'm about halfway through my reading journal, so I've only got this much left, so loving that. And I will do a flip through of this. I know some people had asked for a flip through. At the end of the year, I'll probably do a flip through for this as a video. If y'all want to see that, let me know. But I always think those are fun to look at. So now let's get into the actual tag. Number 1, what is the best book you've read so far this year? Well, I got 2 right now, so yeah. But I have at least been able to narrow it down to 2. And I think these are like equal for me, honestly, just because they're different types of genres, different reasons, all these things that they are my favorites. But For a Lifetime by Gabrielle Meyer is book 3 in the Timeless series. Absolutely loved it. Had a whole vlog where I was reading multiple books, but this was in there as well. So I will link that if you've not seen it. There's definitely tears. Definitely a series you want to read with friends. It is what I consider the best Christian fiction series of all time for me. So yeah, I'm so excited for the next book that comes out in November and can't wait to read it. And if you've not read this, the first book is When the Day Comes. Second book is In This Moment. Third book's For a Lifetime. Her books just have such a way of touching your heart, being relatable, and the twists and turns she takes, it's crazy. The greatest faith content in this. I cried. It was wonderful. Other favorite book of the year right now is Tessa Afshar, Land of Silence. I cried in this. I had a whole dedicated vlog for this one, and I will link it if you've not seen it, but there's lots of tears and quotes and things in this that just really just touched my heart, ministered to me. This was all about the woman of the issue with blood in the Bible who bled for 12 years and just what this woman went through and still kept her faith. It was so profound what Tessa did in this book. I loved it. It's definitely like one of my favorite books of all time now. So highly recommend this. It's a good biblical fiction story. I love that she could take just a couple of sentences of scripture and turn it into a full-fledged out fictional story about this woman, of what her life could have been like, and it was just beautiful. So, what is the best sequel you've read so far? Now, this was hard because sequel to me, is that like book 2, or is it like any next book in the series? We could easily say that the sequel is For a Lifetime this year, yes, but I have to say, for me, if we're gonna just like not talk about that again since we already talked about it, The King's Scrolls by Jaye Knight. I tabbed this up like no other. I mean, look at this. Book 1 in this series is Resistance, and this was book 2, and I absolutely loved it. It is a Christian non-magical fantasy series. We have found family and a lot of great Christian allegory in this series. Cried in this several times. It was very just beautiful storytelling, and I just seeing her evolve in this story. Like book 1 was great, but then this one was like even next level. So I cannot wait to continue on in the series. I know a lot of y'all love this. So yeah, it's definitely the best sequel I've read so far this year. Now, question number 3. New release you still want to read. I've got 2 on this list. One is One Wrong Move by Danny Petrie. This is a Christian romantic suspense. This is book 1 in the Jeopardy Falls series. Now, I think I told y'all, I got like 30-40% into the audiobook, and I did not like the narrator. I do not recommend the audiobook for this. It's a male narrator that just like is so dry that you really can't keep up. I honestly forgot everything that was said. So it'd be like going into a brand new book. So this is definitely one that I want to pick up this year. Then we have got A Run at Love by Tony Shallow. This came out in May this year, and this is book 2 in the Love in the Spotlight series. It's got all the Kentucky Derby vibes, and this looks like such a cute cover. I know that Tony Shallow has good faith content in her stories, so hopefully I enjoyed this one whenever I get to it. It's not a priority right now, but at some point I do want to get to it. All right, so question number 4 is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year. Well, we got 3 on this list because I'm unhinged. So first and foremost, we're already going to go ahead and say it. Across the Ages by Gabrielle Meyer, Timeless series, book number 4. You already know. Let me look at this cover. It's gorgeous. We've got pirates. What? We got the 1700s and 1727 and 1927. Okay. After what left off in For a Lifetime, I need to know what happens next in book 4. So really excited to get to this. Can't really say too much because spoilers. Another one that I'm really excited about is Love in the Wild by Mandi. This is book 3 in the Love and Blackwater series. It comes out, I think, in August. So I know it says online November, but she says she's shooting for August. So excited about that. Then the third book I have on the list is Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. This comes out in August as well. I've already got an early copy for this, so I'm really excited to dive into it. It's got this Beauty and the Beast type storyline, and I'm here for it. So it's set in the early 1900s. And I know it's going to be a good one because I love her writing so much. So those are the 3 on my list for that answer. Question number 5, what is the biggest surprise that you've read this year? And I have 2 on the list for this. First, I'll say The Nature of a Lady by Rosanna M. White. I have read 2 Rosanna M. White's books before this, and I was not sure where I was going to land with this, and I really, really enjoyed this one. And it's funny because A Beautiful Disguise was one that I ended up DNFing, wasn't really for me, just wasn't feeling it, and then this one I picked up, and I loved it so much. So that was the big surprise for me, just because I wasn't really sure where I'd land with this. I have also read Dreams of Savannah by Rosanna, and I ended up giving it like 3.5 stars. It was like during the Civil War period, I'm pretty sure, and it wasn't like a favorite. So like I said, I wasn't sure where this is gonna go. Like, please tell me I'm gonna enjoy this, and I did really enjoy it. So this is a Christian historical romance, and it was really good, and I really want to continue on in the series. I've got book 2 and 3 on my shelf. And then Recorder. This might be the biggest surprise, truly, because this is a Christian sci-fi series, Children of the Consortium series, and Cathy McCrumb, I'm telling you right now, she knows how to write these very like in-depth stories that where you are just relating to the characters. It was a very, I guess, like Tammy says, sci-fi with heart, and it really was. So I'm excited to dive into book 2 and 3. It's not too sci-fi. It's like not a lot of that jargon, you know. I really, really enjoyed it. So number 7 is your newest fictional crush. This is always like a really weird question. As a married woman, it's a very weird question, but I did pick some guys from stories that I really enjoyed that I thought were really great guys, and those are in Mandi Blake's books. Duh, of course. We've got Love in the Storm is book 1 in the Love and Blackwater series, and then book 2 is Love for a Lifetime. So both of these, the guys in these were awesome. This one was Asa, and he was a police officer. I loved him. And then we got Dawson, who's also a police officer. Okay, so 2 really great police officer guys that are just protectors, and this is the sweetest. I absolutely loved it. It's like the cutest romance that you want, like for the time. I cannot wait for the next one because we're gonna have a really good time. And number 8, books that made you cry. Well, book, but I put books because reasons, you know, I can't have one. So obviously, we're going to say, again, nope, wrong one. Where are you at? Too many books. Real time. For a Lifetime, sobbed. Land of Silence, sobbed. I already said that. 3 more that I can think of right off the bat was Once Upon a Wardrobe by Patti Callahan. Sobbed like a baby, Narnia inspired. So good. Refugee, Alan Gratz, a middle grade story. 3 stories of different refugees trying to make it to safety. Sobbed, literally sobbed. And then Marmee, Marmee, I can't even hold books anymore, by Sarah Miller, sobbed again. Like, these were all very emotional books that just wrecked me in the best way. Now, question number 9. This is always a good one. What's the worst book you've read so far this year? Now, as far as DNFs go, let's pull that up, because I like to talk about that. Okay, halfway through the year, how many DNFs have I had? I think I wrote them down. 5 books this year. Fruits Baskets was a manga that I just wasn't getting on with, so I ended up DNFing it. A Beautiful Disguise by Rosanna M. White. Just wasn't feeling it. Exception to the Rule was a short story by Christina Lauren. Wasn't really for me. Halfway through it, didn't love it. And Sprinkling of Murder by Daryl Wood Gerber. Okay, I was not into that one, honestly. That's one of the 24, so yeah. Oh, I actually have DNF 6, I just remembered. And then y'all don't come for me in the comments on this next one. I've already sold it. And that is, I'm afraid to say it. I know it's beloved, but The Huntress of Thornbeck Forest by Melanie Dickerson. I DNF'd it because I was bored, y'all. I'm sorry. I was just like, what is going on? And I was listening to the audio, so maybe that's it. I don't know. I just decided to say I'm not going to try to power through something I'm slogging through. And I think it might have been a little too young for me. Honestly, I have enjoyed her Derek Cocktails series. I have 5 of them on my shelves, and really enjoyed those. And this one was just like, I don't know what it was. So I just decided, look, I'm just going to put it down, say it's not for me. If I ever decide to pick it up, that's great. I'll get it from the library. But I went ahead and sold a lot of my Melanie Dickerson books on Pango Books, except for the Dare Cocktails. So, yeah. Next. And then I DNF'd The Cookie Crumbles by, I forgot their names, Tracy and Alicia something. It was not for me. I already talked about that. It did not have Well, it had inappropriate content for children that I just cannot recommend that book at all. So 200 pages in, I DNF'd it. And but as far as like the worst book that I finished, okay, don't cover me on this either, okay, because I absolutely loved 2 of her books before. So Catherine Center's newest release, The Rom-Commers. I did not like that. I gave it 2.5 stars. I liked the first 40 or so percent enough that I thought I was going to give it 4 stars, and I had like an entire review graphic done. Like, I was ready to write the review, and then it kind of took a turn. I just didn't love it. I'll link my review down below. It goes in full depth. We're not going to talk about that here. I already talked about it on my wrap-ups anyway, but I love The Bodyguard. Loved Hello Stranger, but I just felt like the Rom-Commers just didn't feel like a Catherine Center book to me. I had problems with some of the content too, and like the guy was not, like, I didn't buy the relationship, like, didn't make any sense. I was like, why are y'all together? Why are y'all even interested? Is he even interested in her? Like, she kept pursuing him, and it was just all this stuff, and he was mean. So yeah, it was a no for me. But if it fall, it fall. I mean, nothing personal if you liked it, but it wasn't for me, and I was disappointed. So yeah, but I am going to read her backlist. Really enjoy the 2 backlists I've read so far. So I'm definitely going to continue on, because a lot of y'all say that her backlist is top tier, and maybe this is just one that went for me, and I'll see what she writes next, you know. The most beautiful book you've acquired. I have several, which y'all know. Okay, first off, speaking of going back to the Ilion Chronicles, okay, Resistance, King Scrolls, Daikin's Heir. This is book 6 in the series. This is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Tay over at Tales and Truths with Tay gifted this to me this year for my birthday, and I absolutely love this cover. It's beautiful. Can't wait to get to this book itself. But I absolutely love the cover of this. It's beautiful. And the red in the background, the girl's dress, honey, don't mess around with her. That's all I can say. So that's gorgeous. And then, of course, these Recorder series books, Guardian and Aberration. Like, these are some gorgeous books. Like, the sci-fi elements, space, the colors, love these, okay? Speaking of galaxy type covers, we got this here. It feels like space. The Vault Between Spaces by Shauna Schroeder. You know, I can't say names. But this is one I picked up recently at McKay's bookstore, and it's a Christian fantasy. I don't know anything about it, but the cover is gorgeous, right? And then this is what I showed y'all recently, I think. It is Waiting for Christmas by Lynn Austin. And it's an early copy. I know it says advanced copy up top, but at least it has like the actual cover, what's going to be printed. I think this will be in hardcover. I'm not 100%. Amazon was showing it as a hardcover when I went to link it at one time. So yeah, but it is gorgeous. I love the classic Christmas type feel here. Beautiful. So yeah, I also think that a lot of these, I won't grab all of these, but I have some of these like Cranford Classics editions. I showed y'all Sense and Sensibility. This is Jane Eyre. I've also got like the Pride and Prejudice one and a couple others. So these are really, really beautiful as well. So yeah, next, what is, oh, I forgot some. My bad. Where are they at? Where are they at? Here they are. Y'all, I also think that these are really beautiful too, which goes into the next question anyway. Oh my gosh, I skipped a question. Y'all, I just realized, I was like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to talk about these. Let's bounce back up to number 6. New favorite author. Did you expect anything else? That is what happens when I write. This is what I'm going off of. This is what happens when everything's running together, okay? New favorite author. My bad. Martha Keyes. I loved these 2 books. The Widow and the Highlander and Reputation at Risk. This is why I was like, oh, these were beautiful covers I was going to mention again. But I forgot to even mention her in the first place. So, reasons. But these books were so good. The Widow and the Highlander, I gave 4.5 stars. I didn't love something that happens at the end, but that's just a personal thing. I still love the book, though. It was great. This was set in Scotland. You already know. Right? My coworker, Megan, got me this for my birthday, and I absolutely loved it. So, yeah. And then Reputation at Risk is a Regency romance. Okay. Clean. Loved it. It chronicles a chronicle of misadventures, book 1 in the series. I cannot wait for the next one though. Anthony and Charlotte in this, and it was just a good story. Like, their banter was everything I needed. It was giving Pride and Prejudice banter, okay? So, yeah, enemies to lovers type story, so good. So, there's that. And then I think the other one, yeah, Duh, I wanted to mention her. Another new favorite author this year is Jocelyn Green. I read Veiled in Smoke, the Windy City Saga book 1 this year. Absolutely loved it. This was for one of Tammy's book club picks for, I think, was it January? February? I think it was January. It's the first one, I think. It might have been February. I don't know. It was the first book club read whenever she started that book club, okay? Absolutely loved it. Might have been March. Who knows? But this was a really great family story about two sisters trying to take care of their father who was having PTSD and all these different things from the war. Her father gets accused of a murder he didn't commit, sent to an asylum, and they're trying to just figure all this stuff out together. Little bit of romance in it, but for the most part, it's more of a family story, Christian historical fiction, and it was really, really good. So I need to continue on in the series. I do own book 2 and 3. So yeah, now we're going back to the end because I skipped a question. Okay. Oh my goodness. The last question is a book on your 2024 TBR. Okay, now let's talk through the remaining books for the 24 and 2024. That's what I thought would be a really good fitting answer for this, okay? Because these are ones I definitely need to get to. Or Blake's going to be like, you didn't finish? So, yeah, I got to beat Blake on this, okay? Lana Austin, If I Were You. This is a Christian historical fiction. And it was on the list last year, so I got to finish that. Tessa Afshar, The Hidden Prince. This is a biblical fiction. I think it's like something about Daniel in this. Yeah, Karen is a Jewish scribe in the household of Daniel. So, gotta read that. And then Jeanette Oak and Laurel Oak Logan, Unyielding Hope, book 1 in the When Hope Calls series. This is a Christian historical fiction story. And then we have got a not Christian, I think it's just clean. Yeah, this is not, I don't think it's Christian. I don't think so. Yeah, clean fantasy. The Calling by Elsie Pye, book 1 of the Calling series. It's giving Robin Hood. I don't know. Then I've got A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer. This is a secular young adult fantasy. We'll see where I land with it. Beauty and the Beast type stuff, which I love, but we'll see how that goes. Then A Seaside Wonder by Melissa Tagg. Y'all know I talked about this in my summer TBR, so need to get to it. I feel like that's going to be one I tab. Okay, I really do. The Whale by Stephanie Lansom. This is the one I meant to read. It's also in the summer TBR. This is about the woman at the whale. Biblical fiction. This is also in the summer TBR. Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Chunk of a book. But I'm going to start it in July for Chrissy's birthday month because Chrissy loves Robin Hobb. And she's always reading books for our birthday months. So I'm going to read one of her favorite books for this next month as well. These books, look at this. And then The Premonition at Withers Farm, also on the summer TBR. Will it get done? If not, it's going to the fall. But Jamie Jo Wright, she's always got good stories. Christian suspense, dual timeline. And then Dream of Kings by Sharon Hink. This is a Christian fantasy. I don't know anything about it, but it's giving Aladdin. Okay. I don't know. And then Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is secular fantasy. So it's got like romance and stuff in it too. So a lot of y'all like this, and a lot of y'all said, oh, you want the thoughts. This is also in the summer TBR. All right. That's everything, I guess. I think that's everything that's left on the 24 and 2024. That's everything for the tag. Let's chat about your goals, your reading, where you at with stuff, all the good things. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's one of my favorite videos to do every year. I have lots of cleanup to do, as you can see. Also have lots of cleanup to do in the house that y'all can't see. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Let's chat below, as usual, in the comments. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.